Welcome to Fatter Wallet's book Summaries. Today, we're diving into a book that, I promise you, is going to completely change the way you look at every single choice you make.
The book is Nudge by Richard Thaler and Cass Sunstein, and it's all about how these small, subtle pushes can guide us toward making way better decisions about our health, our happiness, and especially our money. All right, let's be real for a second. Have you ever done this? You sign up for some free trial, and then, like 5 years down the line, you realize you're still paying for it, even though you haven't touched it in ages. Yeah, you are not alone, and there's a fascinating reason why we all fall into that trap. So, this gets right to the core problem the book tackles. Traditional economics assumes we're all these perfectly rational creatures called econs. But in the real world, well, we're just humans. You see, these econs from the textbooks are basically superheroes. They think like Einstein, they have the willpower of Gandhi, they never make a bad call. But then there's us, actual humans. You know, we have trouble with long division sometimes, we forget important birthdays, and yes, we get hangovers. The point is, we make mistakes, and importantly, we make them in very predictable ways. And we're not just talking about small slip-ups here. The consequences of our humanness can be huge. For instance, over 40% of adults in the US are considered obese. Now, that's not a judgment. It's a statistic that shows what happens when we consistently make choices that feel good in the moment but aren't great for us in the long run. So why do we do this to ourselves? Well, Nudge explains it using a brilliant framework that's all about the two competing systems inside our brain. Think of it like having two different operating systems running at the same time. Okay, let's try a quick puzzle straight from the book. Ready? A bat and a ball together cost $1.10. The bat costs exactly $1 more than the ball. So how much does the ball cost? Just go with your first gut instinct. What's the number that just popped into your head? If you're like pretty much everyone else, you immediately thought 10 cents. It just feels right, doesn't it? That feeling, that instant answer, that's your automatic system at work. It's fast, it's intuitive, and it's often wrong. The correct answer is actually 5 cents. See, if the ball is 5 cents, the bat is $1.05, which adds up to $1.10. To get there, you had to stop, engage your brain, and do the actual math. That's your other system, the slow, logical, reflective system. Basically, our automatic system is like Homer Simpson, and our reflective system is like Mr. Spock. Okay, so if we know we're flawed humans who rely too much on our inner Homer Simpson, what's the solution? This is where the book's biggest idea comes into play, something called choice architecture. And the core insight is this: there is no such thing as a neutral design. Think about it. When an architect designs a building, where they put the staircases or the cafeteria influences how people interact. In the same way, the design of any situation where you have to make a choice is never neutral. It's always shaping what you do. This means that anyone who sets up that context is a choice architect. And that's not just some fancy designer. It's the doctor who explains your treatment options, the manager who created your company's retirement plan form, or even a parent who arranges the food in the fridge. A lot of us are choice architects, and we don't even know it. And the main tool of a choice architect is the nudge. It's any little detail in the environment that influences our choice. Now, here's the crucial part. A nudge doesn't ban anything or force your hand. So putting fruit at eye level in a cafeteria is a nudge. Banning junk food is not. It's all about making the better choice the easier choice. So how does all this tie back to our finances? Well, our wallets are pretty much ground zero for nudges. Because when it comes to money, our brains are full of these predictable biases. The book lists a ton of these, but let's just look at a few of the big ones. We've got status quo bias, which is our tendency to just stick with the default option. There's loss aversion, which means we hate losing something more than we like owning the exact same thing. And then there's framing, which is all about how a choice is presented. Here's a perfect example of loss aversion. If a store offers you a 5-cent discount for bringing a reusable bag, it has almost no effect. But if that same store charges you a 5-cent fee for taking a plastic one, usage drops dramatically. We will work way harder to avoid a tiny loss than we will to get a tiny gain. And check out framing in action. If a doctor tells you that out of 100 patients, 90 are alive after 5 years, you feel pretty good, right? But what if they say, out of 100 patients, 10 are dead after 5 years? It sounds so much scarier. It's the exact same information, but the way it's framed completely changes how you feel about it. Now, you better believe companies know all about this stuff. The book uses the Cinnabon example. You're walking through the airport, your logical, reflective brain says, maybe I should get a yogurt. But then, Cinnabon intentionally pumps that irresistible smell right into your path. They are directly targeting your automatic Homer Simpson brain. And we all know which line is usually longer. So while nudges can be used for good, they have an evil twin. The authors call it sludge. This is when choice architects intentionally add friction to make it harder for you to do something that's in your best interest, but not necessarily theirs.
And we have all been victims of sludge. Think about how it's one-click easy to sign up for a free trial, but to cancel, you have to navigate a maze of hidden menus, fill out a survey, and maybe even call a number that's only open for an hour a day. That, my friends, is pure sludge.
So if you take away just one big idea from all this, let it be this one. These tiny, seemingly insignificant details in how choices are presented to us can lead to absolutely massive changes in our behavior. They aren't just details. They can steer millions of people towards better outcomes. So the big question the book leaves you with is this. Now that you have the language for this, nudges, sludge, choice architecture, where do you see it? Start looking around, at the grocery store, on the websites you browse, in your workplace, because once you start seeing it, you can't unsee it. Fatter wallets.